Hey everybody, it's your book bud Joe here, and we are back with a part 3 of my bookshelf tour. We've done part 1 of my adult thrillers and memoirs and mystery books and such. We've done part 2 of my fantasy books, specifically my Oz shelf that I love so much. And now we have part 3. I even have some Oz inspired art on the walls, and I can even zoom in and show you those. But let's get to it, because this is the shelf right here, and I'd like to zoom in and show you what I've got. Let's look at that art on the walls first. Let's go closer. Okay, so here we have a print, and it looks like Elphaba in a field of dead grass with a beautiful moon, the crows, the birds of some kind, and the trees. This looks great, right? Love that. All right, since I'm showing the art I have, so I don't know if anybody knows this. This is The Magic Garden. This was a show in the 70s and the 80s in the tri-state area in New York, Jersey, and Connecticut. And it was a local show filmed in New York City called The Magic Garden. Carole and Paula in The Magic Garden. And we had the magic tree, we had Sherlock the squirrel, we had the Chuckle Patch. They used to sit on those swings, play the guitar, sing songs. Does this ring a bell? So they recently did a fundraiser for all their fans. They just created a lot of merch, which before this, there was no merch at all. And so they were trying to raise money so that they could film a proof of concept for an animated version to pitch to the streaming services. Sherlock was a puppet. They made everything by hand. The magic tree was like a sculpture made by hand. It was very like grassroots, and it was very like they were two kindergarten teachers who worked together, and then they came together and wanted to do an educational show for kids, and it was hugely popular. They did make their proof of concept video. They raised enough money, so hopefully that's going to be picked up, because that would be really cool to bring it to future generations. So I'm just wondering if anybody knows The Magic Garden. Okay, so on this top shelf, I have my TJ Klune collection. Now, I got the bookends, and I have Sherlock the squirrel on my left from the show I just talked about, The Magic Garden. That was one of the things they were selling. I'm like, I got to get Sherlock. And then on the right, I have Frog from Frog and Toad. All right, so starting from the left, first we have our Tales from Verania series, which you've heard us talk about a lot. It's pretty funny. It's a comedy, guys. It's a fantasy comedy. It is hilarious. One of the best audiobooks I've ever listened to. It is absolutely hysterical. This is The Lightning Struck Heart. And then you have the Damning Stone, The Consumption of Magic, A Destiny of Dragons, A Wish Upon the Stars, and Fairy Tales from Verania. But this is a series about it's like a magical kingdom, right? So you got the king, you got the prince, and you have all their people. And then you have magical animals that speak. So you got a unicorn named Gary, who is hysterical. He is so funny. The voice of him sounds kind of like Donkey from Shrek. He's hilarious. And then there are dragons and little fairies, and it's such a great fantasy book, but it is hysterical. It is the funniest thing I've ever listened to ever. The narrator is fantastic. I just want to show you this one cover that we've talked about before. I mean, look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? That dragon and all the celestial type images around it. Gorgeous. I just love this cover. All right, so we got the rest of TJ Klune. We got the Wolf Song series, Wolf Song, Raven Song, Heart Song, Brother Song, and he started doing these awesome covers. These are real, how should I say, not sculptures, but it's a whole big artistic scene in a studio, and they're sculptures. This is not a painting. It's a picture of the world that they built with materials. Look at the wolf. You can see it's like a sculpture. And so he's redoing all of his old books with this new beautiful artwork. So fun. And then we have The House on the Cerulean Sea and Somewhere Beyond the Sea. This is probably his most famous book, wouldn't you say? Look at that cover. Beautiful story. Love this one. In the Lives of Puppets. This is that same artist with the sculptures that he did. This one's about robots. We have The Bones Beneath My Skin. All of his books are good. He does such a good job, TJ, at making us laugh, making us cry, and interweaving fantasy into all of his books. So cool. And here we have Memoration. This is so he had a lot of books, guys, before he hit it big with The House on the Cerulean Sea. So now that he hit it big, this is what they do, which is genius. He's re-releasing all of his old books with new covers, right? So Murmuration is an older book of his. This one's my favorite. And now this one is slated for a re-release with a new cover, I think later this year. But this one's great. This is his homage to The Twilight Zone, that amazing old show, black and white, that is just so trippy. And his ode to the 1950s. Great book, cool ending. Wow. And the murmuration refers to, these are birds. When the birds go in their flight patterns and it's like they all come up at the same time and it's like it's organized chaos, like that's called a murmuration. And the symbolism in this book, beautiful. He's just very talented. So this is my TJ Klune shelf. Okay, so can you see me? There's no rhyme or reason for any of these. I had this shelf built, and the guy who did it did not do the measurements correctly. So you can't fit a book on these shelves. You can on the bottom, like the regular way. So I had to just accept it and do it this way, which I mean, I don't hate. It's kind of fun. So then I just started like shoving things in here. All right, so these I get free at the library. These are like middle grade fantasy books. Not important. Not that important, but so I'll read these one day when I'm in the mood and just purge them. Okay, we have Lord of the Rings here. We have some historical fiction. The Glass Blower of Murano. Mermaid Chair. Sue Monk Kid. She wrote The Secret Life of Bees. In a Dark, Dark Wood, Ruth Ware's first book. Still haven't gotten to this one. And Watership Down. Been trying to get to this forever. All right, we got some mystery books here. The Housekeeper by Natalie Borelli. Somebody recommended her to me. And then Charlie Dunlea. A lot of my friends have been reading this, and they're loving him. He's like a mystery murder type. Sounds great. These are a little bit more nostalgic because these are very old. All right, I've told this story before, but I'm going to tell it again. Henry and Ribsy by Beverly Cleary and Henry in the Clubhouse by Beverly Cleary. Now, I went to Catholic school, and it's still around, and there are reasons to go in there. I was in there for a meeting one time, and I discovered that my childhood library in the school was still in existence with all the books still in there. So I stole away for a couple of minutes. I slipped out and I went into the library because it was open, and I went searching for books that I used to read. And I used to get this one out all the time. And I looked in the back. Here's the card that we used to have to sign it out. And I found my name. My name is still on this, and all my classmates. I almost died in the library that day. I was screaming. I'm like, what? So I stole it. I took it. I mean, I had to take it, guys. Nobody was using these books. They were sitting there to rot. I found it. It had my name in it. It had my name on it. So I justified it and I took it. And then I went back to my meeting like nothing was ever, like nothing was wrong. And now I have it and I'm going to treasure it forever instead of it being thrown out one day. So there. Oh, this is funny. Indian in the Cupboard. My friend got me this. It's like a first edition of one of my favorite childhood books. Absolutely love this. I bought some Dr. Dolittle along the way. Haven't read these. Well, I read them when I was a kid, but I'd like to read them. Okay, now these guys. These are special. All right, so my grandmother bought these for my sister when she was little in the 70s. These are all the fairy tales. The ring light's definitely going to mess these up. I might have to turn it off, but as a kid, these were in my house. They are my sister's. And if you could see this hologram-ish type cover, okay? It's like it's just beautiful. And you know, as a kid, you could be mesmerized looking at these things, right? So this series, my tiny 3D book series, these are from Japan. I think in the 50s or the 60s. I mean, I love these. These are so cool. So you see how, again, this is not an illustration. These are like, I don't know, little stuffed animals, and they set them up. And this is like a, maybe like a, well, she could be a stuffed toy as well, or like a claymation. No, because this is yarn. Like, this is, I love stuff like this. Isn't this so cool? So, yeah, Goldilocks. I just, as a kid, I love these. So they disappeared from my house. And one day I thought about them. So I went on eBay and I found a few. There's a lot of them. Three Little Pigs. So I just bought a few just for nostalgia reasons. New York, New York. So Playmore Inc. Publishers, New York, New York. Cool, huh? But they're from Japan because I did the research. Look at the wolf. I love this. They smoked him out. I love it. Look, yeah. So these are great. Those should be displayed somehow. All right. We got some Mary Higgins Clark. We got Wanna Go Private. It's like a thriller about like teens on social media. I almost purged this one a few times. We got one of these Oz books, The Other Road. That looks cool because it has the red brick road in the movie. And we were always just like, where does the red one go? Well, now he wrote a book about it. Carlos Perez. Angelology? I don't know. Witches on the Road Tonight. Yes. Golden Girls Mystery, Murder by Cheesecake. Hilarious. Harlan Coben, we like him. Here I have some James Patterson and Mary Higgins Clark. I think these are signed. The Art of Racing in the Rain by Garth Stein. Love this book. This one I want to show you. Not sure if it's a first edition. I mean, it sure looks like it, but it's Virgin by James Patterson. This is a book that he then re-released and changed the name to Cradle and All. And this is basically like about a devil baby, kind of like Rosemary's Baby. Loves this one. Helen Mitchell, thanks. I have your book. So, oh wait. Yes, I had it signed by him, Joe, and he signed James Patterson. Isn't that cool? Yeah, he was surprised to see this when I showed it to him. And then some more James Patterson, Mary Higgins Clark, and so on. These, I think these are signed. I just found this recently, A Wild Winter Swan, Gregory Maguire. He does all the retellings of fairy tales. This is the Hans Christian Andersen one, The Wild Swans. You've seen all my Jodi Picoult books already. Jodi Picoult, Jodi Picoult, Jodi Picoult, Jodi Picoult, Jodi Picoult. This beautiful edition of Grimm's Fairy Tales, the complete fairy tales. Love the cover. And this is all of them. Look how thick it is. And then we got all of my Harry Potter books, which these should really be displayed, to be honest with you. I don't like that these are just like shoved here. They shouldn't be shoved here. They need to be on display. I can't even hold it up, it's so big. All right, you don't need to see them all, right? You know what they look like. There's another one back there. You know what those are. Oh, yeah, these got to go. These got to be displayed. Well, doing this shelf tour really helps me remember what I have, and I will be able to then move things around. Okay, this is my Gregory Maguire Wicked pile. We've got Son of a Witch, we got A Lion Among Men, and now these are... This is a new trilogy that he wrote that I have not read yet, but this is about Elphaba's granddaughter, I believe. The Oracle of Mordor. The Witch of Mordor. The Brides of Mordor. So this is called Another Day, Volume 1 of Another Day. So I really need to read these. How can I have the Wicked franchise not complete? I got to get into these. I got the Wizards of Once. I found these in the library, and I love this series, so I just picked it up to maybe reread. Then I have my Clan of the Cave Bear series, which they're bigger than Harry Potter. Ay, ay, ay. Clan of the Cave Bear. This is the special collector's edition. Clan of the Cave Bear. Great series, guys. Great series. These are like about prehistoric times. I think it's the Paleolithic age and how they survived. Shelters of Stone, Plains of Passage. These are called the Earth's Children series. Lots of details. I made Mary read them and she was like bored, but she did enjoy the story itself. She just goes into a lot of like details about the land and the vegetation and the animals, and like she names every single species of like wild fern that grows. It's a little bit much, and like the rocks and stuff. But there's a real story here, and it's a beautiful story of survival and the early days. All right, I got about 12 paperbacks back there, and these will represent them well. So I've read most of Mary Higgins Clark's books, but there's very few that I haven't, and this is one that I've had for years and years, since I was like a teenager, and I just have never read it. So I got to read this one, Moonlight Becomes You. Then I have some old Dean Koontz books, which his are great for spooky season. I love his books. This is The Bad Place, and I just love his books that he wrote in the 80s. They were just so nostalgic and so of the time and spooky and scary. I just love a good 80s horror book. Dean Koontz is great. And then I have one V.C. Andrews series, which would be the Cutler series. I have the whole series. From her, I read the Heaven series, the Castile family, which, you know, it's just like a whole bunch of drama, and it goes on for 5 books. And I read the Flowers in the Attic series, which is the same thing. So I figured I have these, I should just read it. It's like, you know, the family with all the secrets and the betrayals and the abuse and the drama, and, you know, it's kind of like a soap opera, but better. Yeah. Okay, now we're down to the last one. A Wrinkle in Time series. And I love it because this whole series starts with this line. It was a dark and stormy night, which is a very famous line from a lot of like different books and movies and stuff like that. But I just love how it just sets the scene. It was a dark and stormy night. This is such a great series, guys. Can you please read this? Can everybody read it right now and just like do videos on it? It deserves more attention. Thank you. We have my Frida McFadden collection that I think I'm going to give these away. I don't know. I don't need these anymore. I have a student who loves Frida McFadden, so why not pass it on? The Tenant I did not like. War D I liked a little bit. The Perfect Son I enjoyed. Do Not Disturb I really enjoyed. And Never Lie I enjoyed. So those are my quick reviews, guys. Frida McFadden, she's good on the beach or for the plane ride. Fun. Hostage. This looks good, but I don't know if I could read it because I'm going on a plane soon and it's a hostage situation on a plane. I don't need that in my life. So this needs to happen when I'm like bedridden somewhere, not going anywhere. To Kill a Mockingbird. This still remains my favorite book that I've ever read from like a school reading. Read this in 8th grade and I absolutely loved it. It might have, was it this? I think it might have been this one. I think it was this edition. Love it. And then I have some books of saints. I went to Catholic school. We had these when we were in school. Okay, Madeleine L'Engle. She wrote the Time Quintet that I just showed you. So these are like her journals. These are called the Crosswicks Journal. So these are not fiction. Walking on Water, Reflections on Faith and Art. This one is called The Irrational Season, A Circle of Quiet, The Summer of the Great Grandmother, and Two-Part Invention. So I haven't read these yet, but I would read anything that she writes. So I'm saving these for a rainy day. I can't believe how many books I have, guys. Mary Poppins, 80th Anniversary Collection. Okay, this is very special to me because when I was young, I loved to read, and my uncle, who is no longer with us, bought me this, and I remember being so excited. Um, I love books about life in the covered wagon days, if you will. So these are the Little House on the Prairie books, and I love them so much. I love the illustrations. I love the simplicity of them. I love hearing about life on the pioneer land. I haven't read them all. I read Little House in the Big Woods, Little House on the Prairie, Farmer Boy, and maybe no, I think I read up to The Long Winter. On the Banks of Plum Creek, by the shores of Silver Lake, The Long Winter. So I have to read Little Town on the Prairie, These Happy Golden Years, and the first 4 years. This is when they're older, so I kind of lost interest. I liked it when they were younger. But great books. Let me just show you one. Does anybody have this set? You know, it's all about the illustrations for me. A lot of scary things happen out on the prairie, so these books were very exciting. When they go through winter and, they have no food and this and that, and animals come and people come who are threatening. These are very exciting books. I recommend them. When were they written? Oh, wow, 1932. Thanks, Uncle Chick. More Charlie Donlea. I didn't buy any of these. I found them free. Most of the book, well, not most of them, but a lot of them I just get free at the library. So that's good. Frederick Bachman, A Man Called Ove. Still haven't read this, believe it or not. I should. I mean, isn't it like the first one? Is this his first one? Joe Hill, Heart-Shaped Box. Got to get into Joe Hill. Stephen King's son. Anybody ever read him? Which should I start with? I think I have another one over there on the other shelf. Fall of Marigolds. I always recommend this book. Set in New York City. We're dealing with two New York City tragedies, 9/11 and I always mess this up, the waistcoat factory fire. Definitely recommend this. If you don't want to cry, then don't read it, but I don't know why you would avoid crying. I mean, it's a human emotion. It means the author did their job. What's the problem? Just read it. It's amazing. Susan Meissner again, The Secrets of a Charmed Life. All her books are great. Susan Meissner, Blue Heart Blessed. Not sure what these are about, but it doesn't matter because Susan Meissner wrote them. A Separate Peace by John Knowles, set in a boys' boarding school after World War II. This is some dark stuff. I want to read this. Okay, this is one of the best books I've ever read. Catherine Ryan Hyde, Love in the Present Tense. This is about a mother who she accidentally, or she killed someone, and she has a young boy, and she's trying to protect him from her violent past, and so she just one day drops him off at like a neighbor's house and like never returns. Um, this is such a moving novel. If I were to ever reread any book, it would be this one, because I don't reread books, but this one is just so special. I highly recommend it. Has anybody read this book or read Catherine Ryan Hyde? Are her other books as good as this one? I need to know. Mockingbird, A Portrait of Harper Lee. The Stranger by Albert Camus. This looks very interesting. Has anybody read this? Little Bee, Chris Cleave. Lies That Bind Us. I couldn't tell you what these books are about, guys. Sorry. I have way too many books. Does anybody agree? Well, no, you're not going to agree because look who I'm talking to. Ordinary People, Judith Guest. Great movie. Lots of drama. I love drama. You ever go to Broadway and just watch a drama instead of a musical? It's phenomenal. Crossing to Safety by Wallace Stegner. I think it's about drama between two couples. Not sure. Joshua. Once in a while, I'll have my religious books. This is a beautiful book. Very famous. There's a few others in the series as well, which surprised me because I just thought it was like a one and done, but there are more Joshua books. Anybody ever read these? Joshua Comes to Town. It kind of mimics like Jesus' story. And people are like whispering about him, like there's something different and special about him, and who is this guy? And it says on the back, sometimes it happens after 2,000 years, the human race may be given another chance. So it's just, these books just make you think. It's a nice book. And Fiona Davis, last book, guys. Fiona Davis writes all of her books set in New York City, and they are phenomenal historical fiction pieces. And this one is called A Masterpiece. What's it about? Okay, this one goes from the 1920s to the 1970s, and the backdrop is Grand Central Station. Oh, I definitely need to read this. All right, so now we're going to see this corner. We got Michael Jackson, the king of pop, the best entertainer in all of life. I just saw the Michael Jackson movie last night, and his nephew plays him, Jafar Jackson, Jermaine's son, and he did a phenomenal job. Wow. That movie was great. I love Michael Jackson. Okay, we got my dragon lamps that I got in Salem, Massachusetts when I was there. And I love these. Aren't these great? There's two of them. There's one on either side of this piece of furniture, which will be another bookshelf tour another time. But yeah, there's two of them. Love these things. Look at that. How could I not buy that? Come on. Yeah. Look at him. This is that beautiful print. And now you're seeing me in the reflection. Hi. The Witch's Castle. I mean, just look at these details, guys. They built that set and it was phenomenal. All right. Does anybody ever notice this in the movie? Let's look at all these fun details. Look at this hand. holding that spell book in place. Oh my God. I noticed it in the movie. It's very quick, but I see it. I mean, look at that. That's scary. It's like the hand from the Addams Family. And then you have this chalice. And you have this thing, whatever this might be. What is that? Okay, we have the hourglass that I have the replica of that you might have seen. I mean, look at this. What is she going to do with that? The knife. This bitch is scary. Oh, God, I love her. Okay, let's look. Look at this. What is this for? And then you have down here, there's just different things here. And then you have, look at the skull. So there's just so many things that are not presented in the movie as in the forefront. I don't know what this is. Oh God, I would have loved to have gotten some of these props. I wonder if they took any. I wonder if Margaret Hamilton took any home. I would have. You should steal that. Like I stole the book out of my library. Just take it. It belongs to you. Wow. So yeah, I went to Michael's and I got it framed. Because I needed to. Because I love it. Booyah. Okay, guys. Well, thanks for hanging out with me today. This is my bookshelf tour part 3. I hope you enjoyed it. Are there any books here that you think I need to read immediately? Am I sitting on any gems here? Please let me know because I will gladly read it immediately. Thanks for hanging out with us today. If you're enjoying Book Buzz, please like, share, and subscribe. And last but certainly not least, thanks for visiting Book Buds.
Don't you love my bookshelves? I live here.
Okay, and then are we going to be able to see this, or is the light going to be... So this is my Wizard of Oz print that I went and got framed. Let's try to turn this off. Okay, it's... Oh, God. Let's take it off, the ring light. The ring light is more trouble than it's worth. Does anybody agree? So many books. Oh. All right, so everything just fell all over the floor. To Kill a Mockingbird, one of my favorite books. Are you still shaking? Stop. All right, I need to look and see how this is, because if this sucks, I can't keep going. Come on, Dick. No, I don't want the color. I don't want the color. I want the regular one. Thank you.